I'm Bernal Cox with Live Young Lifestyle, and today I'm going to show you my simple, everyday makeup look. When I go to the gym, I don't use a lot of makeup. It's all about protection, protection, protection. I have written many blogs on sunscreen. I also did another YouTube video called Here Comes the Sun.
And all you do is brush it on so it takes any shine away.
So make sure that you check that out. And in addition, all of my morning routine and my nightly routines, we've also done videos on those. So before I get started with any makeup, there is prep work involved. I am covered in vitamin C serum and a little bit of eye cream. And then of course, my all-time favorite sunscreen by Zoe Skin Health. This has the primer in it. So right now I am fresh-faced. There is nothing on my face except for this primer and my C serum and a little bit of Nurse Jamie's eye cream. So before I go anywhere, and even when I'm staying at home, I always think about protecting the skin. It is the #1 way to prevent aging, is through preventing the wrinkles from ever happening. And then we go on to just correcting a little bit of color stuff. So I have a lot of red in my face. I've kind of got a pink face. So I love this is by Yves Saint Laurent. It's a green pen. So if you've got red in your face, you want to try to use like a green little concealer pen. So any place where I see a little bit of red, I will just put a little bit of this green on to mask it. And then I'll take one of these brushes and kind of make sure I get it really blended in. And sometimes I'll just go out like that because I've already got some sunscreen on, but I really love this. This is kind of like a BB cream or a CC cream. This one is by Revision. It's Intellishade Original. It also comes in matte. And the reason why I love this is because it's a broad spectrum 45. I love this because it's one of those shades that no matter what your skin tone is, it will blend to your skin tone. So this doesn't come in different shades. It's kind of like a no-brainer. And I use this if I'm going to the gym or even if I'm staying around the house, just to add a little bit of color correction. No, this is really not how it works, but I blend all this in. Because this tinted sunscreen blends to your tone of your skin, you don't have to be so careful in how you put it on. You can just kind of smear it around. And this is anti-aging, so this also has moisturizing. It also has a little bit of exfoliation in it. It's really great. And I kind of spend a little, you can layer this product. So I put a little bit more on my nose, which is always a little bit red. Don't forget your eyelids. And the great thing about this too is sometimes I'll just go out of the house just like this. I know my skin is protected, and I know I'm doing something good for my skin. So I'll just blend that in a little bit. Do not forget your neck. So remember that your face starts here. So every time I put on my makeup, I have like one of these little tube tops on because I want to make sure that I'm not forgetting everything. So make sure that you get all of that. Now, if I'm, running out and I need a little bit of color, again, it depends on how red my face is that day. I use a little bit of like a bronzer. Now this is by Gucci, but any kind of bronzer is good. And I just stick a little bit under the cheekbones. I define the neck a little bit, so I get right underneath my jawline, a little bit on the forehead, just so I don't, I'm very pale, so I don't want to look like a ghost. And then, believe it or not, if I'm going to the gym or I'm just around the house, I'll use a little bit of bronzer on my eye. So it kind of works, as you can tell, like a little bit of an eyeshadow, which is great too if you're traveling and you don't want to pack like, a whole suitcase full of makeup. So I also need to define my eyebrows because my eyebrows are a little bit light. And as we get older, our eyebrows get a little bit more sparse. So I just use an angled brush, and this is by Anastasia. This color is taupe, but it has like a dual kind of color there, which I love because you can kind of, it's kind of a mix and match thing, and you blend it. So no matter if your eyebrows are a little bit darker or a little bit lighter, you can find like the right shade in there somewhere. It's like less than 10 minutes and I'll be out the door. If I want a little pop of color on my cheeks, I like Clinique, and this is just like a nice peachy color. I'll put a little pop of color. I have eyelash extensions in right now, but normally when I don't have those in, all I'll do is I'll curl my eyelashes and I'll use a waterproof black mascara. And you know, as we get older, we really need to stick with the waterproof because of the crepey eyelids that some of us have, not all of us. But it tends to transfer a lot more, and in addition, because we're using things that are a lot more moisturizing and we're using eye creams and stuff like that, I've always found that if I stick with the waterproof mascara, it's best. Now when I have eyelash extensions in like I do now, I don't use anything, but that's because I have eyeliner tattoo. So I have a semi-permanent makeup that I love, and I have it on the top lash, as well as tiny dots on the bottom. So it just makes it, because I'm so fair, it makes it seem like, you know, it just cuts out that little step. Now, if I do go out at night or I'm meeting my girlfriends for lunch or something, I will do an eyeliner over the top to make it a little bit more drastic. And what I love is, I love these pens that are just like, it's like a felt tip pen. And for me, I found that just doing the top line with this black felt tip is great. And then I also love these pencils by Chanel. And this is a brown and it's water resistant, which I love. And I will sometimes put a little bit on the bottom just because, you know, if I don't have the eyelash extensions on the bottom, I kind of feel like I need a little bit more there. And then this one that's black, I'm not going to do it right now because this is like my everyday kind of look, but I use this one for the top waterline. And I think it just makes your eyelashes look a little bit thicker. But again, if I'm going to the gym, I'm not doing all of that. And if I'm just running around or I'm at home, I'm keeping it a lot more simple than that. So the last thing is I do a little bit of a setting powder only if I'm a little shiny, and sometimes I even miss that part, but just kind of a little bit in the T-zone to take the shine away. Now this is like an invisible powder. This one's by MAC, but just a translucent, you know, no color kind of setting powder is great. And then the last thing is the lips. Now, this is so old school. This is Baby Lips by Maybelline. And if I'm around the house, this is like always in my pocket. It's always in my purse. It's always in my gym bag, just because it adds a little bit of shine, a tiny bit of color. It's not that dark, but a tiny bit of color. And I feel like if you're running around, it just gives a little bit more of a natural look. If I'm going out to lunch, I will use a slightly heavier foundation. So this is like my gym foundation. This one by Chanel, it's Vita Lumiere, and it's super watery. So you get, you know, just a natural kind of coverage with it. And I love that. And again, if I'm going out to lunch and I need a little bit more for the lips, I love this lip liner. This is by Artiba and the color is Cedar, and I think it just goes well with any color of lips. It's very natural to kind of define those lips a little bit more. This is my all-time favorite lipstick. This is by Chanel, and I think it's called Cocoa. But yeah, Rouge Cocoa. That's it. Here you go. Everyday, simple makeup. I think that was probably in less than 10 minutes. So I'm out the door and I feel like I'm doing something great for my skin, and my skin is protected, and still I look a little bit more youthful, and that's a really good way to live young.